the West is in decline. When the United States finally jumps out of the frying pan in Afghanistan, in Kabul, the evidence, I am saying one more time, is mounting for those who have the capacity to see and understand and the integrity to realize that the civilization which has been ruling the world for 300 years is now in decline. Our subject today is entitled Implications for Islam of the U.S. defeat in Afghanistan. The implications of the U.S. defeat in Afghanistan are immense. There are implications, enormous implications for India, as well as for Pakistan, as well as for Iran, as well as for China, as well as for Russia, as well as for Israel, as well as for the whole of the modern Western world. And we are on the verge now of witnessing events rapidly unfolding in Afghanistan. I never thought they would unfold so rapidly, which would make the coming weeks and the coming months enormously important for those who have the capacity to analyze the implications. And the first implication of this event in Afghanistan, the defeat of the United States for Islam, is enormously important. And the reason why the United States has to leave now is because they are scared of a public relations disaster. Because on the 11th of September, it will be 20 years since they invaded Afghanistan. And how did they do it? Yes, you know the story. And I am not afraid to tell it while others are afraid. I've never been afraid to tell it. That there are three kinds of lies. You know it. There are normal lies, and then there are great lies, and then there is 9/11. So they invaded Afghanistan with a mountain of a lie in order to be able to pursue a political agenda. And 20 years later, they have to withdraw in failure. And so a message is being sent all around the world. And my voice here from Islamabad in Pakistan is just one little voice added to the chorus now. That Islam is still alive. And Islam is not a spent force. And Islam can take on the modern West and defeat it. In what sense has the United States been defeated in Afghanistan? In the same sense that they were defeated in Vietnam. Namely, they could not achieve their objectives. That was the defeat. And if Islam can fight the United States and all of the West in Afghanistan, then what is the promise that seems to be apparent now? The promise of what is to come. A message being sent to Venezuela. A message being sent to Bolivia. A message being sent to Chile, as it is being sent to Nicaragua, a message being sent all around the world where people are being oppressed. That Islam has a promise that it can come to liberate the oppressed of the world. We also see evidence from events unfolding in Afghanistan that the modern West is in decline. Pax Americana replaced Pax Britannica, and it is Pax Americana which is now in decline. The United States, for the last 200 years, has been intervening militarily with gunboat diplomacy in nearly every single Central American and South American country, willy-nilly to change governments, invading them, overthrowing governments for the last 200 years. And now, what has happened? That Venezuela has put a stop to it. The United States has tried everything you could possibly try to overthrow the Venezuelan government. Hugo Chavez slapped them on their faces until they got rid of him. And now Maduro is still holding on. The West is in decline. And now, in addition to Venezuela, in addition to Crimea, in addition to Syria, Afghanistan. And so, when the United States finally jumps out of the frying pan in Afghanistan, in Kabul, as they jumped out of Saigon many years ago, the evidence, I am saying one more time, is mounting for those who have the capacity to see and understand and the integrity to realize that the civilization which has been ruling the world for 300 years is now in decline.